Welcome to my video, How to Run a Coaching Session. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the challenges that come up when running a coaching session. And then I'm going to walk you through my unique, special, proprietary process that I use to run coaching sessions with my clients. So the reason your clients pay you to coach them is because they want to have a transformation. They want an outcome. And one of the biggest problems that I see in the coaching world is that people don't have a systematic way of delivering outcomes. Very often, coaching can devolve into just chit-chatting or conversation without a clear intention and clear outcomes and goals. And that is what my process does. It helps you not only connect with your clients deeply, it also helps you make sure that they're set up for success so that they love working with you and they keep working with you for the long haul. So the first thing that is really fundamental for every single coaching call, every session that you run, is to have a clear intention. You might want to have your own personal intention before you hop on the phone with the client, something along the lines of, I am committed to serving this client to the best of my abilities and being unattached to the outcomes, or something like that. And you also want to set an intention with the client at the very beginning of the call. I do this in advance of every single call. And in fact, I even have a questionnaire that I have every client filled out with the question, what do you need out of this call? What is your intention for this call? The second thing that you want to do once you've established what's an important outcome is to start to listen deeply and assess where the client is at. When we assess where the client is at, we're looking at really the gap between where they are and where they want to be, what their reality currently is and where they want it to be. What's the vision that they're trying to create? And then the assessment is kind of like a diagnostic. It's where we're listening deeply to what is both being said and what is not being said, reading between the lines, and forming some insights and perspectives on what's going on, especially what is the client not seeing. The third thing we want to do is to dive into giving them some reflections and some insights. So what that looks like is helping them take responsibility for where they are, noticing if there's any amount of projection or blame coming up where they're not taking full responsibility for where they are. A lot of times in a coaching relationship, we can get into a situation where the client is expecting us to do it for them and to fix things for them, that they expect us to be like the genie in the bottle granting their wishes. And that is a very disempowering relationship. So the third step is always to turn the lens back on them and help them take responsibility and see the ways that they're contributing to their own situation. And this is also the opportunity to kind of start developing some strategies that you think might be able to serve this client. Now, before I get into the other few steps of this process, I want to invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even post a comment or two below about what you like to do in your coaching sessions. Now, the fourth thing that must happen in order for someone to be able to take action on your insights is for them to fully feel the cost of what's happening right now, to feel the pain of not having what they want, of not taking action, of not being responsible, not taking responsibility for their own situation. And coaches often skip this step. They want to jump over this step. They want to go from coming up with the perspective and the insights to developing the strategies and getting into action. But the missing step, and the one that is so powerful, is helping the client become present to what it's costing them. Feel the feelings of pain, of anger, frustration, fear, shame, whatever it is that we generally tend to avoid. Why do we want to do that? We want to do that because those emotions can be alchemized into energy to take action. So helping your client really feel the feelings can help them to transmute those feelings into, all right, I'm going to do something about this. I take my power back. Let's go. And then from that place of feeling those feelings, letting it move through like a wave, asking your client the question, what's actually true now? What do you need to do? What do you see as possible? What new possibility is now available? Just trust me and trust life, trust this process that when people feel the feelings fully and allow that to move through them, there's always wisdom that comes through on the other side. Always, every single time. And so you can allow them now to give you those answers instead of you giving the answers to them. Now, of course, if you see something that they still haven't seen for themselves, you can gently prod them and say, well, what about this? And what about this? And in fact, right now in my cell phone, I have a text exchange with a client where I asked her to go ahead and feel all those feelings and let it all move through her. And then I asked her, what's true now? And she saw a bunch of things, but there's one really big thing that she still hasn't seen for herself. So I'm not going to give it to her yet. I'm going to ask her another question and try to see if she can get there all by herself. She'll think that she came up with it, which is just great, because when clients come up with their own answers, it's more empowering. They own those answers and they're much more likely to implement. So number 5, the next steps are capture those actions. Capture what it is that they need to do. What are their commitments now? Help them claim the new whatever it is that they're claiming, right? Maybe a new strategy, a new story, a new belief system, a new project, whatever it is. Help them build energy around that and come up with some action steps of what they're going to do next. And then the final step is really important and often gets overlooked, and that is to follow up and check in. So often in coaching, and I'll admit, I've done this and I have to really watch out for this. We complete the call and we're like, boom, on to the next one. I did a great job. I'm such a good coach. Let's go. And we forget to check back in and see, did you implement? How did it go? What came up? What new things have you learned and seen as a result? So checking in and following up is a critical final step. And then we start the process over again. So let me give you an example of what this looks like. So I'm going to make up an example that's based in my experiences with my clients. Let's say I have a client named Denise, and Denise wants to build and grow her business. She wants to expand. She wants to serve more clients. She has all this desire, but she's really struggling with sales, and she can't seem to bring herself to make the offer to clients on the phone. So we hop on a call and we set the intention that we want to come up with some strategies to help her beef up her sales. Great. All right. So we start to dig into it, and I ask her, what's the problem here? What's happening when you're doing sales? And she's like, Michelle, I have everything is going great on the calls. I'm following the structure you gave me. It's fantastic. And then when it comes time to shift into the offer, I get all worried. I get all freaked out. I just lose my cool and I don't get it anymore. All right. Okay. So what's going on there? What do you think is the problem? Well, she starts to tell me about how she feels that she doesn't have confidence, and she's worried the client is going to think that she's pushy. She's got all this mindset stuff going on with this piece. And as I'm listening to her talk about this, I'm noticing that she's getting really excited when she's talking about the actual work that she wants to do with her clients. She's like, I love what I do. I enjoy helping my clients. I enjoy coming up with the ideas to help them execute. And her energy's building and rising. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I'm noticing, Denise, that your energy is building and rising. What's that all about? She's like, well, I get excited when I start to create with my clients. And I realized in that moment, oh, there's energy when she's talking about creation, but there's no energy when she's talking about selling. So I'm thinking, what if we can reframe sales as a way of creating with clients, as a co-creation? So I start to move into stage 3, reflection and insight. And so I say to her, what if you were able to reframe sales as co-creation? Would that change anything for you? And she's like, yeah, it would. Okay, all right, so let's talk about this. What's it costing you to relate to working with clients as sales and selling as this thing that you find icky? How's that working out for you? Oh, it feels terrible. I don't like it. Okay, let's feel that. Let's go all the way into that. Let's see what it feels like. Oh, the sales and pushiness and manipulation. So I let her go all the way into the feelings of the negative side of it. She starts to feel that fully. I'm like, you don't want to be that. No, I don't want to be that. All right, so let's claim something new, right? Let's create something new. What about co-creating with your clients instead of selling? How does that feel? Oh, that feels good. So we start to build energy around this new way of being, claiming something new, creating a new strategy Forget sales, it's co-creation. That's what I'm doing. And then I say, all right, so let's create some strategies around this idea. Denise might create a new sales process. Instead of calling it her sales process, she calls it her co-creation process. That's strategy number one. What's another strategy? Oh, I know. Before I get on every call with my clients, with my prospects to try to offer them something, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a prayer that helps me connect with that co-creation energy before every single call. Okay, cool. That's homework point number 2. You're going to write this prayer and you're going to do it every time you hop on a call. Great. What else can you do? Oh, well, now instead of calling it a sales discovery call, I'm going to call it a co-creation discovery call. Great. So we create these strategies, we write them down, and we set up our follow-up appointment. And then on that next appointment, I'll ask, how did this go? How did this go? What's the prayer that you wrote? How did it happen when you implemented it? What came through? And so this is how that process might look. Now, it's different, like with each client. There's a lot of coaching that's an art, not a science. But if you follow these essential basic steps, I promise you won't go astray. You won't go wrong. These are good steps that you can make your own, but I promise you that if you follow this structure, you'll never misserve your client and you'll never serve them badly. The worst thing you can do is not use one of these points and then skip something really important. If you're a coach and you want to build and grow your coaching practice and you want to make it more lucrative, more joyful, and more impactful, then let's connect. You can book a free discovery call with me at superstaractivator.com/go. And you can also find that by clicking on the link below.